Oldenburg Cellars with Nic
Van Aarde.
van Aarde, the winemaker. So let me start with first basic questions. A quick rundown on what Oldenburg Wine Cellars is and where.
Yeah, so we're a small boutique cellar situated in the Banghoek Valley of Stellenbosch in South Africa. So we're one of the Banghoek area is one of the highest altitude areas in Stellenbosch, and it's an area which specializes in chardonnay and also in Bordeaux varieties. And Oldenburg, we made our first wines in 2007. And we've got quite a name for Cabernet Franc. So if you're a Cabernet Franc fan, we do amazing Cabernet Franc. But we also do Chenin Blanc, we do Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, and also a Syrah and a Bordeaux blend. So.
And I think one of the things I need to add to that is that you're in the most fabulous location. If I turn around, look behind my back now, it is the most amazing view over the mountains and the vineyards.
Yeah, we're situated in this little cul-de-sac, or in an amphitheater. We're surrounded by mountains that go up to about 1,600 meters above sea level. And I've had people that have tasted wine all over the world. They've been to the Mosel, they've been to New Zealand, and they come to Oldenburg and they say it's the most beautiful tasting venue they've ever seen. It feels like you're sitting between the clouds.
It certainly is amazing. So now you haven't been here very long.
4 years, yes.
So
Yeah.
how? Tell me, I'm curious. When you come here into a fairly well-established and fairly well-known winery for making quality wine, how do you approach that? What you do when you arrive, and what you think? What are your plans?
Yes, I think what attracted me to Oldenburg was just the focus on quality. I remember when I started here, I asked the owner, Adrian van der Spey, and Adrian was actually, this farm belonged to his grandmother. So he's a South African, lives in Switzerland at the moment, but a lot of South African roots. And when his grandmother passed away, he took over the family farm and built the winery and the tasting room and everything. But I remember when I put my first Cabernet blend together, and I said to Adrian, should I make a blend of 10,000 bottles or 1,000 bottles, or because I had about enough wine to make 10,000 bottles. And Adrian said to me, I don't mind if you make 500 bottles, just make the best possible wine. So there's a big focus on quality at Oldenburg. The first thing we did was got stuck into the vineyards. So we have some beautiful old vines here. But we also had to do some replanting. So we've replanted the property to quite an extent, putting quite a lot of Chardonnay, some Cabernet Franc, some Chenin, some Merlot, a little bit of Syrah. We've also changed the trellising systems quite a bit. So on a day like we're sitting out here, it's quite windy, so we've got quite a lot of Echelay trellising systems. And then, really micro-vinifying in the cellar. So keeping everything in small batches. I ferment anything from a 500 kilogram bin, to a 10-ton tank. So just really keeping everything separate, and then focusing on the blending. So yeah, I would say the biggest focus has been in our vineyards, getting our vineyards up to top quality, and then and that's reflecting in the wine.
Do you mind if I ask you this, or ask you to elaborate a bit on that, because you have, like much of South Africa, you have had a bit of a difficult situation with vineyard viruses.
Yes.
And now, with all the work you have done, you have basically resolved that problem for Oldenburg. But what really is that virus issue here?
Yeah, so it's called leaf roll virus. It's type 3 leaf roll virus. It's a problem in South Africa in the industry with a lot of the material that was brought in from France, which was infected with this virus. But it's not only found in South Africa. It's found in Australia, it's found in New Zealand, it's found in certain areas of France. So it's actually a problem in the whole world wine industry. But what it does is it basically slows down the plant. When the vine comes to about 15 to 20 years old, it struggles to ripen the crop. It struggles to get color on red wines, and the quality of the juice is just not as good as it should be. So we've taken a firm stance to really remove all these infected vines and plant new virus-free material. So we've even put up our own laboratory where we actually test every single vine on Oldenburg for this virus. So we're really proactive. And if we can keep our vines healthy and we can keep them virus-free, we're going to have vines of 50 years old plus. So it's really about thinking about the future and planning for the long term.
Is that a problem today that is disappearing from South Africa as a whole, or is it still persisting in other parts?
No. A lot of growers, especially the growers that are making quality wine, have removed their infected vineyards. But don't get me wrong, there are some old vine vineyards, and there are a lot of old vine vineyards in South Africa which aren't so susceptible to the virus. A variety, for example, like Chenin Blanc, is not very affected by leaf roll virus, but something like Chardonnay or Cabernet is quite affected. But yes, there has been the industry standing together, removing a lot of these virus vineyards and replanting with better materials.
Now, we walked through your cellar, which is almost brand new. It's a very impressive cellar. You have all the toys you can ask for,
Yeah.
almost, I think. What are the difficulties, though, for you? What are the challenges to making the wines like you want them to be at the end?
Yeah, I mean, I think about 70% to 80% of the quality of the wine comes from the vineyard. So I find as a winemaker, I spend more time now in the vineyard, getting the vineyard up to the perfect condition, so that I have to do very little in the winery. But it also helps to have a modern winery, with modern technology and good machines to really, especially on the sorting process, so all our grapes are sorted, all our whites are whole bunch pressed. All our Bordeaux varieties are berry sorted. So yes, that helps to have, that you only have perfect berries and quality berries in the fermenter. And then, I think a lot of it is also getting to know the vineyards. I've been here now for 4 years. This is my 5th vintage or 5th harvest at Oldenburg. And every year I learn something new about my vineyards and how to treat every vineyard in a specific
Any
way.
surprises?
No, yes, I think with the quality of the viticulture and us really focusing on viticulture and not having any form of virus vineyards left, we found that the quality has really, 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 really improved. So we're really happy in the direction we're going.
So if you would pick 3 wines from your range that people should try to understand what Oldenburg Vineyards are about, which 3 wines would that be?
I would definitely, I think Chardonnay is a big focus in the Banghoek Valley. There are a lot of very, very good producers of Chardonnay in the area. So the Oldenburg Vineyards Chardonnay would definitely be a must. Secondly, we have a wine from our Oldenburg range, which is our reserve range called Rhodium. And it's actually a right bank Bordeaux blend. So it's Cabernet Franc dominant with Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon, aged in French oak for 18 months. And it's a beautiful reflection of what Cabernet Franc can do in South Africa. And then I think, Cabernet does very well in Stellenbosch. Stellenbosch is the best Cabernet producer in South Africa. So definitely the Oldenburg Vineyards Cabernet, or what we call our Per Se Cabernet, which is our reserve Cabernet from the Oldenburg range. Great wine for aging, a big full-bodied wine, but with the elegance and the coolness of the valley. So yeah, those would be my 3.
Yeah, I've been coming here to Oldenburg for maybe almost 10 years actually now, and tasting many of your wines, and the Cabernet Franc have always impressed me. I remember them very well. So
yeah, Cabernet Franc is also one of our specialities, but we also use it in a blend. So
yes.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Oldenburg Vineyards.
Thanks very much. Cheers.